Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Transfer Talk live show. You know what time it is on a Sunday. We are live at 5:01 today now. Producing another video for you. Got caught up in the editing. That window stood open. That might get annoying, that. Let me know if you can hear the noise. Hopefully not. I can see loads just tuning in already. Shout out every single one of you. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up as we have loads and loads to get through this afternoon. You can see on the bottom of your screen there the headlines, the transfer talk, the main links and rumours. And the one that most of you are tuned in for, I'm sure, is, of course, the Harvey Barnes deal. As you can see there, edges closer. Federico Chiesa's agents are also in England. Where are they? Who they're speaking to? Going to get into that. And some new deals today for Loris Karius and Paul Dummett, who extend their contracts until 2024. It feels like Dummett's just part of the furniture now, isn't he? You know, they're doing out the training ground. Someone nearly chucked them away. You know, the rest of the shite, someone nearly chucked them away with the hot tubs. You know what I mean? With the rubber dinghy rapids, bro. He nearly left. You know what I mean? He was nearly out there with the bins. But he still manages to get himself a new deal, Paul Dummett. He is living the dream. I cannot believe Dum. You know what I mean? Dummett's still here. Absolutely living the dream. He's been here forever. He's staying forever. He's never leaving. You know what I mean? I was going to say build him a statue. He is the statue. Dummett is a real-life human statue. I mean, this bloke will be getting free trips around Europe next year in the Champions League. Unreal. I'm telling you. Paid flights, living the life. You know what I mean? And he's never going to have to lift a finger. Let's be honest. And this is an absolute disaster of injuries. Paul Dummett will never be playing for Newcastle again. Might get a game against Gateshead next Saturday. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about all the pre-season tour stuff because theirs coming around fast. The players are back at Benton today as well. You know, the players are back in pre-season training. Eddie Howe had them in at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Sunday, the day of rest. And Eddie Howe, no rest for the Toon Army. No rest for Champions League mags. Yeah? Eddie Howe's not having it. There's no rest around here. We've got serious business to attend to. All right, I'm just going to put a quick Instagram story out to let people know that we are live now. And then I'll get into your chat, and then we'll go through all of the topics that are there. So, I hope you've had a good weekend, people. And you're looking forward to Monday. All right? Happy Monday and all that. Good stuff, you know. It's exciting times. If there's been ever a better time to look forward to a Monday as a Newcastle fan, I'd love to hear it, because there hasn't been in my lifetime. Because we're really excited now, aren't we, with the transfer window and the new season fast approaching. So let's just make sure that story's up. Lovely. That's that done. And let's talk about yous in the chat. Have a bit of crap with yous lot. Nearly 400 people tuned in. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Muchas gracias. Been waiting all day for this. Respect that, mate. Appreciate it. Been waiting all day for 5 PM. Much better than Sky Sports. Cheers, mate. I won't hinder Sky Sports because, you know, I do a bit of work for them. But I tell you what, you're not wrong, really. Magpie channel is better than any channel. Well, we'll just get that in there nice and early. Peter Griffin's in the house. Shout out Family Guy. Oh, water's nice and non-existent there. Harvey Barnes, in my opinion, is one of the best wingers in the Prem. Explosive and can score with both feet. If we get him and Chiesa linking up with Tonali and Isaac, we'll be a nightmare. I mean, just the thought of those all together on the pitch is frightening. Do you know what I mean? Every defender in Europe is going to absolutely shit themselves if they have to come up against the likes of Tonali and Isaac. Would be sensational. And we'll get into Barnes and Chiesa talk because there's rumours that Barnes isn't just the only winger on the radar. Or is Barnes a smokescreen? Is Harvey Barnes really going to sign? You know, because this whole thing that came out on Friday, you know, edging close, on the verge of signing him, closing in on Harvey Barnes, Newcastle. The same thing was said for Nicolo Barella, wasn't it? And then that was a complete distraction to get in Sandro Tonali. Nobody was reporting Sandro Tonali, not Sky Sports, not BBC, not The Athletic, The Guardian, Telegraph, Fabrizio Romano on his balcony in Italy. You know, nobody was saying this. So we'll see what the crack is with that. We'll talk about that very soon. Hi, Aaron, who's in here all the time. Shout out yourself, mate. Appreciate it. Buongiorno, this is Ian. Big up Renty the Pete. Arik, matey. John, any links on Chiesa? Are they solid? Talk about that soon. Haggis Basha 91. Good name, that. Like it. Buongiorno, Renty. Buongiorno, Sandro. Can't wait to meet Sandro and get him to do a buongiorno for us on camera, like. Video from down south. Looking forward to transfers. Cheers for that call. Very nice words there, like it. We're in for Disasi. Disasi, never heard of him. Let us know. Not going to lie. Don't know who that is. Where did he hear that? That must be fresh on Twitter in the last hour or so, I reckon. What else we're seeing? What's the odds on Dum Dum to score a winner in the Champions League? I tell you what, it'll be about 75 million to 1. But get it on it. I remember I was there, and lots of you, I'm sure, would have been there as well, for Andy Griffin against Juventus. Yeah, what were the odds on Griffin to score the winner against Juventus? So, just going to get a nice delivery of water here. Lovely stuff. Yeah, because got the old dry mic. Staying off the beers. Had some beers yesterday, so no beers this afternoon for me, people. What we're saying, this is what I want to talk about as well. Anthony Gordon, the European champion, yeah? Hitting the Champions League next season with the European champions. We're in for a treat there. We're getting Tonali in, won Serie A, semi-finalist of Champions League. We've already got Gordon. We've already got Anthony Gordon, star boy, European Under-21 Championship player of the tournament, Anthony Gordon, as England yesterday lifted the Under-21 Euros trophy. Unreal stuff, that, to be fair. I watched the game. It wasn't the best of games, was it? It was scrappy, it was boring, but got the job done. And I've never seen anything like that. You know, that Trafford, the keeper, 0 goals conceded in the whole tournament. In the last seconds of the game, in stoppage time, double save from the penalty spot. I mean, remarkable. And we deserve to win that tournament. We're the better team. And I'm absolutely buzzing for Anthony Gordon to get that player of the tournament, and he'll come back full of confidence, absolutely buzzing, and he looked class throughout the tournament. He looked sharp, he looked bright, he looked dangerous, and it was an eye to what Eddie Howe will probably be using him as next season. You know, he was played as a striker for that tournament there for Lee Carsey's under-21 side. So young Three Lions, he can come in. Can Gordon be coming off the bench now? Eddie Howe will be loving that versatility that Gordon can offer across the front three. So yeah, it's really good news for Newcastle that we've got players coming in fresh, coming in hungry, ready, and off the back of winning trophies. It's happy days. Will we have enough money left for a quality left back? Tell you what, I'll just start answering these questions now, to be fair, because there's that many chats coming in, I'll forget to come back to them. So make sure you are getting your questions in, you crack in, and we'll get amongst them. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We will be signing a left back this summer. Obviously, Livramento. That deal's went really quiet now. Southampton wanting silly money. Newcastle only wanting to pay like 20 million. They're wanting 35, 40 million, even 50 million they're trying to get at the start. Southampton for Tino Livramento. He's obviously predominantly a right back. Can play as a left back as well, though. I know Newcastle are still very keen on Cucurella from Chelsea. Dan Ashrath, Newcastle's football director, is obviously a big fan. Here's the fresh delivery. Thank you very much. Good hand modelling there from the missus. Dropping off the fresh pint of water. I love it. I need that today. So Cucurella is definitely on the radar. There was reports the other day that, you know, he wants to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea, Mark Cucurella. Chelsea are willing to sell. They're like, Chelsea are just cashing in this summer. They're just getting rid of the deadwood. I appreciate it. I mean, they've got to thank us for that. They've got to thank the Saudis for all this money that Chelsea are getting. Yeah, but they've made a huge loss on Christian Pulisic today, who's heading to Tonali's ex-team, AC Milan. He's heading over there to Italy for £18.8 million. Chelsea paid 58 million for him a few years ago. 58 million, and now you've sold him for less than 20. What a hit that is on Chelsea's funds. So Chelsea aren't arse. They've got the money. They've got Todd Bowley there, you know, Donald Trump. He's in the background doing the madness. They're going to spend, and they want money in, and they're happy to get 30 million for Cucurella, which will also be a half-price loss. You know, that they paid 60 million for Cucurella just over a year ago, and now they're willing to get 30 million for him. So they want to sell. Cucurella's probably thinking, I've just settled in London, you know, I came from Brighton. But if we put the bid in officially, Chelsea accept it, then we will be able to talk to Cucurella. And I think a left back will be added to Newcastle somehow, whether it's Cucurella, whether it's long-term Tierney. You know, he's been a long-term admirer of Kieran Tierney, has Eddie Howe. We're trying to get Arsenal down on their valuation of 30-odd million. Still that little, suspicion of fitness concerns for Tierney. He played for Scotland a month or so back there in the Euro qualifiers, and he came off after about 60 minutes. You know, it's a sticky one, but left back is a top priority position for Eddie Howe this summer. So I'm sure we'll see movement on that. Good day, Jimmy, there from Australia. I hope you're doing well, mate. Aaron Harvey Barnes is a good deal for us. I hear that because obviously what was rumoured for Newcastle was that we would be right-hand side, someone who can cut in and score goals. Yes, Almiron did that last season, well, especially in the first half of the season. But, after that, do we need strengthening? Is Jacob Murphy enough on that right-hand side? Now, I like Murphy, Almiron. And when you look at it at the minute, down the left-hand side, there's obviously a whole host of options. Gordon, even though I've mentioned him potentially moving position. Alan St. Maximin, even though potentially on his way out of the club. Even though the club really emphasised the fact that St. Maximin returned today. Maxi put on his story, back home when he touched down in Newcastle Airport. And then the club were releasing more photos of him than anybody else today, to be fair, returning to pre-season training. So that was interesting. But down that left, you've got Gordon, St. Maximin, Isak, who's obviously played there. Julian and Joe Willock have swapped roles there. We've got options down that left-hand side, but we haven't got goals enough. We haven't got assists enough. This whole thing about people talking about, is Harvey Barnes good enough? He's got the same amount of goals and assists, if not more, than Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden in the past few years. And everyone raves about them being some of the best in the league, which they are. So Harvey Barnes' numbers don't lie. Last year, Harvey Barnes got more goals in one season than Maximin got in his entire Premier League career. So, the numbers don't lie for Harvey Barnes. He puts up double figures for goal contributions every season. Last year, in a crap, struggling Leicester side, he's still doing well statistically. And I think that's what Newcastle like about him. And Aaron's right that it wasn't a priority for money. But Newcastle have capitalised on Leicester's relegation. You know what I mean? They've looked at that and they've thought, right, well, they need the money. Barnes wants to go. He's up for grabs. If we don't get him, Villa's going to get him. Spurs is going to get him. West Ham's going to get him. And they're going to get a good deal. For a Premier League proven player, you're going to prove to be a cheap signing relatively in this day and age. So, I'm happy with Barnes, but I'm still confident that we will get a left back as well. What else are you saying? Tierney from Arsenal is my pick. Says Wayne. Oh yes, John, appreciate that. All the way from Alabama, tuning into Transfer Talk. Shout it out. People are more talking about Disasi from Monaco, the centre back. Looks good, that Disasi. I'm not even going to lie and say that I've ever heard of him, but I'll do some research on him if these rumours are looking true. Top work, Matty. Love the channel. Cheers, Carl. Chiesa, Barnes, and Tierney, and we're set for Tuesday nights. Totally agree. I mean, if we could bring in them three, we are laughing. We are absolutely laughing our heads off all the way to Milan. Well, Tonali not be like you'd be hiding like the rest of workers. They'll be raging. But we're laughing all the way to Madrid. We'll go with Madrid. And those will be three quality additions that really, really improve our squad in those areas. And just imagine the front three of Chiesa, Isak, and Barnes. Or Isak, Wilson, Chiesa. Or, Barnes, Wilson, Almiron when he's firing like he was for most of last season. There's lots we could do there. And that back four as well, if you bring in Tierney, you'd have Tierney, Botman, Shaw, and Trippier. Or if we do go out and sign a centre-back, we are wanting a right-footed centre-back. Even though Fabian Shaw was immense last season, he is getting on a bit. Not massively, like he's still got a good couple of years left in him at least, but he does have the odd injury, doesn't he? So we do want to strengthen in that area. So we'll wait and see for that one. But those signings would definitely get us Champions League ready. What's Maxi worth if we sell him? I reckon Maxi's worth about 40 mil. 35, 40 mil. I think you can get off him. When we paid like 18 mil for him, didn't we? Before we even got anywhere. So I would go with that. I reckon if we can recoup 35, 40 mil for Alan St. Maximin, then Harvey Barnes is essentially coming in to replace him. We haven't spent a penny then, have we? And we've finally made some money on player sales, which we just have not done since the takeover. And that's what's affecting FFP, I was in the waiting queue since yesterday, Matty, mate. That's the dedication. I like that dedication, Wayne. Good dedication to the show. As soon as it was released, he was ready. So be like Wayne. You know what I mean? Get your notification bell on there. Get notified whenever this show is live or any video is coming out. Hit that little bell on the video. Would you give Jamal Lewis one more chance? I would have said yes if it was this time last year, but I'm just like, how hasn't he got a chance? Everyone else has been given a chance. Eddie Howe's been very fair in giving people chances and transforming careers. Do you know what I mean? Like, so maybe saying that, do we let Howe have more time with him? But sure, he's had enough time. There must be something there that Howe's just like, nah, there's no in this kid. Like, there's no in Lewis. So, because you'd think, we'd spend 15 million on this left back. You'd think we would maybe look towards utilising him more, maybe try and make the most of that money we've spent on him, and he came highly rated, Northern Ireland International. We beat Liverpool to the sign of him. Everyone was scratching their heads thinking, what the hell, how have we managed to sign him ahead of Liverpool? But he's been very unlucky with injuries. He's never got a good run, but he's never really been that good, has he? So it's a shame, but yeah, I'd probably move on from Jamal Lewis now. Loads and loads of chats coming in. So we'll try and get through that. Oh, it's Fabrizio Romano reporting Disasi now. Let's have a quick look then. We're going on Romano's Twitter and we'll have a quick look to see if he is talking with him, unless it was earlier on. But I've never seen this and I haven't seen much people talking about it. It's going to be... Oh, here we go. 26 minutes to go. Newcastle and Manchester United are both exploring the Disasi deal. No bids yet. Newcastle approached player side this week, expected to make contact with Monaco. Ten Hag approved Disasi. Talks for weeks on player side, but still waiting for approach with Monaco. French centre-back. More to follow. So once there is more to follow on that Disasi deal, Disasi, I'm not sure how the hell you said it. You say it. Never heard him before. So I'll have a look at him. But it's good to know, if that's true, that Newcastle are actively looking at a centre-back still. People were thinking, have we got the budget to stretch for a centre-back? We're going to try and sign a left-back. We're signing Barnes. Or we're still looking at another midfielder. Will we be getting a centre-back? Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, we have identified Disasi, the French centre-back from Monaco. Axel. Yeah, we'll have to look into that more. And there might be a video coming on that later in the week then. Trafford, some keeper years like. What a keeper that Trafford is. I think he's 19 years old. There's a good article on the BBC website about him. If you want to check that out, obviously after this show. Group was in the farm life. Then he's worked his way up. Obviously, he was on loan at Bolton. Did well there. He's at Man City, Trafford, but he's going to be a record signing for Vincent Kompany's Burnley this summer. So he will be playing in the Premier League next season, young Trafford. And you would say pressure on his shoulders, 15 million, rising to 20 million. Burnley's number one at that young age. But this kid just saved the penalty in the last seconds of the final. So I think he'll be all right, to be fair. Let's have a look. What else is saying? Golden goal, Pope up front, says Andrew. Is it true Harvey Barnes medicals tomorrow? Interesting to see where you've heard that one, because no, that's not true. Not that I've heard anyway. Let us know where you've heard that one. But I have not been informed of that one. But Harvey Barnes, I reckon it'll get done next week, maybe late next week. If things are going as they're meant to be, unless there's a stag in the deal. But I just can't say it. I think the Harvey Barnes will get done. You've got Fabrizio Romano saying it's going to get done in the next 7 days. But Fabrizio Romano is obviously a real household name, but that João Pedro thing sticks with me when he was like, oh, here we go. João Pedro's on his way to Newcastle, medical booked and all that. And obviously, we didn't sign him. We weren't even... there was no medical booked, put it that way. There was no here we go. So he can be a bit scattergun sometimes, I reckon, Romano, but obviously he is pretty decent. What do you think will happen with Maxi? I'd be very surprised if Maxi stays in Newcastle summer. I really would. Like I said, the club have been putting out a lot of images of him at training today, arriving, in the ground and whatnot, but just with his messages that he's been putting out on socials, and he's not going to start. And I just think he's the player that wants to be the star of the show, isn't he, Alan St. Maximin? He doesn't want just playing off the bench. Now, Champions League might change that. You may think, well, if I get an opportunity to impress in a big game in the Champions League, would he stay? Obviously, this has been linked. Saudi Arabia, big money. Could he go there? Obviously, if he goes there, he'll be able to sort out his next generation of next generation's kids. You know what I mean? The generation for the next 27 centuries, he'd be able to sort them out if he goes to Saudi and he's on $400,000 a week or something daft, like the rest of them. Dishing out money like there's no matter. So I wish Saudi would get me over there. What can we change the Magpie channel, the Saudi channel? Yeah, I'll do watch-alongs in Saudi. I'll stay in Riyadh. Fuck this. Show me the money. I don't care. I'll tell you what, I'll have that much money, I'll be able to fly back for the games. Do you know what I mean? So get me out of there, the Saudi channel. But Maxi, could he be moving to Saudi? Well, maybe if the money's offered. It's hard for players to say no, and the likes of Steven Gerrard, who went over there to become managers, he had opportunity around here to do it, and he went to Saudi. Money talks on it. So I think Maxi, though, you just suit an Italian club. He would suit like an AC Milan down to the bone, who he's been linked with in the past. He's had talks with them last January. So I could see him staying in Europe, but then again, it's hot in Saudi at the minute, isn't it? Not the weather. The transfers, you know what I mean? A lot of people are going there. They're on it. So we'll see. We'll see. What else was saying? All right, like B2 saying, big achievement. Shouldn't be slept on that Anthony Gordon winning the under-21s Euro Player of the Tournament. Where's the blonde hair gone? Says, my name is Magpie. My name is Pie. Just Pie, not Magpie. It's gone, mate, yeah. You know what I mean? It's run its course, I think, for now. Like I say, maybe if Joe Linton lifts the Champions League trophy, I'll bring it back. But for now, went back to the dark side, you know what I mean? Just a bit smarter, isn't it, really? But you never know. It may come back one day. It might. But I've had it for a few years now. People always say, you what's with the Bruno trim? It was never Bruno. It was Joe Linton from about 3-4 years ago. So we'll see. We'll see. 16 of us in Rangers end. Oh. Didn't have that, like, it's a testimonial, isn't it? Probably. We seem to have a good relationship, don't we, with Rangers? But I don't know, mate. Sometimes grounds can be funny with that, can't they? Might just depend on what Jolsworth Stewart you get on the day. But I'll be in the tune-in, thankfully, with 8,000 Geordies, and it's going to be absolutely mental. I can't wait for it. What a day out that's going to be. People are calling for Renan Lodi for 20 million from... well, where's he at now? Is he back to Atletico or something? Is he, or wherever he was? Because he was obviously at Forest last season. So we'll see on that. Paul, cheers, mate. Thanks for sharing the show. Appreciate that one. Danny Cucurella would be blinding for us. Dummer just signed a new deal. We don't need a left back. There we go. There we are. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why we're talking about it. What's everyone's problem? We've got Dummett there. Got Jamal Lewis there. What do we need a left back for? Dummett's ready. Dummett is ready and keen for Bayern Munich. Salah Cup, great for non-season. Well, we did a video on this the other day, the Salah Cup. There's the comment there. So if you haven't seen that already, I'm sure you would have noticed it by now. The Salah Cup pre-season tournament, 5th and 6th of August. Big weekend of football at Newcastle with Fiorentina, Nice and Villarreal coming to tune. So that should be a nice weekend. And the women as well, also playing at St. James' Park. Oh, Ben's getting some serious questions in now. Serious. Aspirations, expectations for this season in all competitions. Top 6 Premier League, top 7 even. I'm not expecting to get top 4 again just because we've got it 1 year. We know it's going to be harder with Liverpool, Chelsea coming back. What Spurs' new boss is going to be like? Is Kane going to stay? All of these permutations. These kind of questions really need answered before, September, before like the transfer window closes, shall I say? Right on that deadline day is when that needs to be answered. Around that time, because a lot can change in that time. So for me, for now, I'd say top 6, top 7 in the league. Good cup run again. I'd love to get to a final again. Of course, I would love to do box part again. Love to hopefully, win at Wembley for a change. For me, I think this year I just really want to enjoy the Champions League. I think if we can get to the knockout stage of the Champions League, obviously, again, this question needs asked once the group stage is revealed, which isn't until the 31st of August. And we'll be doing a live stream for that as well, by the way. So make sure on the 31st of August, you are tuned in to the Magpie Channel TV to see who Newcastle need to get in the Champions League. But once that's drawn, we'll know then how hard it will be to progress and how far we can get. Champions League, for me, if we can get the quarterfinal or something, wow, how amazing would that be? But again, I'm saying that, who knows? We could get the group of death. We could get out of that group and then have Real Madrid in the next round. And let's face it, we'd have to be on unbelievable form to do that. However, if we play these big teams away first, keep it tight, and then the second legs at St. James' Park, I would say anything was possible. So a good European run. I don't want to get knocked out because loads of people are saying, he's a celebrating top four. You'll be home by Christmas, New Year. You'll be knocked out of the group stages and all this. What you're celebrating it for? You only have a couple of games in it. Prove them wrong. Shut the doubters up. Prove them wrong, and get far in the Champions League. Far enough, knockout stages. Get that big game. Get the big feel for it. That first leg, second leg, home and away. That's what I want to be. So knockout stages of the Champions League. Try and do well again the Carabao Cup because I think that's always a good chance to get to Wembley because the big boys rest their players. And then, get European football again next season, even if it's Europa League, even if it's Conference League, because how hard the league's going to be next year. It might sound a bit daft saying that after being in the Champions League this year, but it's being realistic for me. If we can keep top 6, top 7, keep playing European football, keep signing good players, then we can build, then we can keep growing. As long as we're heading in the right direction, it's going to be so hard to get Champions League again, isn't it? But you never know. Again, these questions need asked after the transfer window, after the group stage draw. What else we got? FA Cup or League Cup? FA Cup all day long. All day long. It's just much harder to win, isn't it? It's longer. It's tougher. You have these upsets more often. See a lot of people talking about Disasi. That's the centre back that is linked from Monaco. How you told me about. To be fair, on the stream that I think Romano's tweet literally came out as we started the show about Disasi being linked from Monaco. So I'm actually going to edit the little ticker on the bottom of the screen now. So we're going to get that in there. Disasi linked. Just that'll do because we're busy. So there we go. Bosh, bottom of your screen, updates. What else we're seeing in the chat? There's so many messages, man, that it's absolutely mental. This chat, I love it. There's nearly 900 people tuned in. Big up everyone that's in the stream right now. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, please. Thank you very much. What we're seeing here, Tenerife Mags, love it. Get me out of there. Get me the Tenerife, please, Jamie. I'll sort us out. Could do with a holiday. It's been a busy summer. What else is saying? Who do you want to play in the Champions League groups? Borussia Dortmund, right? Yellow wall. Big atmosphere. I want to go to Germany. Never been to Germany. Borussia Dortmund, Madrid. Just been to Madrid. Want to go back. Amazing trip. Loved it. Loved the city itself. The people. Me and the missus had a class time. Stadium tours. Went to an Atletico Madrid game. Loved it. Get one of the two of them, Atleti or Real. Class. And then after that, one more team to go. Take us to Italy. I would have said Milan, but that's going to be dangerous now that all the, the Milanista fans absolutely hate with. So, Juventus aren't in it another. Rome, whoever. Do you know what I mean? Rome are in it again. I think the Mourinho aren't there. That would be nice. Italy, Germany, and Spain. Let's have a nice little tour. What else was saying? Got a Leicester fan in the house and from Leicester fan channel. Barnes is the only current player he'll miss. The rest can do one. So that speaks volumes in itself. I suppose if you've got Leicester fans, that shows that he's their top player. Maddison's now gone. And they still have some really good players in Leicester. Like, they shouldn't have went down. But you've got Leicester fans who will be gutted to lose Harvey Barnes. What we're saying. Hernandez would be my dream left back, same. I would absolutely love Hernandez, but that would be silly money. Here on the wanting like 80 million, 90 million for Theo Hernandez. Never going to happen. What's the percentage we will be getting Barnes? 90. I'm going to go big. I'm going to go optimistic and go big. Realistically, probably 65, but I'm really confident of the Barnes deal getting done. I really am. I don't see why it can't happen. The player wants to move. Newcastle will pay the 30, 35 million Leicester want. There we go. Everyone's happy. Juve kicked out with Europe, PDK. Mail saying Villa going to rival us. Arsenal, Man U for 50 million Diaby. I don't think we'll sign Diaby. I don't. 50 million is a lot better than the 70, 80 million they were asking for last summer, But especially if we're signing Barnes. Although, we are still linked with Federico Chiesa. We are still linked with Chiesa. 35 million as well is what Juventus want for him. So can we push it on the right-hand side? Maybe that would depend on if Alan St-Maximin gets sold, how much we pay for Barnes, what else? Do you know what I mean? But Diaby, he's one of these ones like the Paqueta thing, isn't he? Where it's just like fan pushed. It's very much an online thing that we've created. And yes, they are looking at Mr. Diaby. He is on the list, but I think fans wish and hope that it's more of a deal that could be done than the club realise, because 50 million is all right, to be fair. Like I say, Leverkusen were wanting 70, 80 last summer. So getting it down to that isn't that bad, but I just can't see it at the minute. Not with the signings we've already made, not with Tonali, not with needing the left back, not with bringing in Barnes. If he doesn't leave to Arsenal, Man U, though, I could see him coming in next summer. I don't think he will Arsenal either. They've got Saka down that right-hand side. They've just brought in Kai Havertz. I don't think Arsenal would sign him. Man U, though, especially if they ship Jadon Sancho out, Man U could do with Diaby because they've got absolutely no firepower. Do you know what I mean? They've still got Weghorst up front. You know what I mean? So they might need him. Do you think Dubravka will leave? Yes, I do. And I think that has been pretty much confirmed today by Loris Karius signing his new contract. You can see on the bottom of your screen, Karius and Dummett have signed contract extensions until 2024. And he's not going to sign that to be happy with third, fourth choice, is he? Darlow, we obviously know, is on the verge of joining Bournemouth. Obviously, Middlesbrough and stuff are still linked with Carl Darlow, but Dubravka will leave. Obviously, last summer he left. He pushed that move last summer at Man United. Didn't work out for him, but he wants first-team football. I don't think Martin Dubravka is going to be happy sitting behind Pope every week, because Pope's going to still play the majority of the games. I think, yes, Karius might play the Cup, Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup at a stretch, but Pope will be starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Pope will be playing Champions League and Premier League as our number one. So Dubravka, I think, will go get a couple of million for him, not much. And fair play to him. I like how he wants to play first-team football because he wants to still represent his country. You know, he wants to continue being the Slovenia keeper. Slovakia? Always getting mixed up. Whichever one he is. I think it's Slovakia, isn't it? Dubravka. So he wants to be their number one still, you know. So fair play to him. He's been a brilliant servant for us. I've got no qualms with Dubravka leaving. We've obviously interviewed him on the channel a couple of times. Class bloke, real gentleman. So he was a bargain for us. Saved a lot of the times. And good luck to him. But I'll expect Martin Dubravka to be leaving Newcastle United this summer. Barnes' record there. Very impressive indeed. Because that will leave us just on the keeper thing with obviously Pope was our number one, Karius is the number two, and then Gillespie is the number three. Gillespie just chilling. You know what I mean? Him and Dummett just absolutely chilling right out. What we're saying. People asking about Diaby. I mean, yeah, I know people are fascinated with Diaby because he is class. He does look great, and it is probably what we need more than the Barnes in terms of Barnes' left side, right side. We need a bit more competition for me. We need a bit more goal mouth action from that side, if you like. You know, Almiron was on fire for a bit, tailed off at the end. But Barnes is Premier League proven, and that's what Newcastle United really like about Harvey Barnes. He's cheaper, and he's Premier League proven. They know what they're going to get. They know his character, they know his personality. Well, this would be ideal, Stephen. It really would. Do you know what I mean? I would absolutely love to get rid of the likes of Hendrick, Hayden, Lascelles, St-Maximin. But no, unfortunately not. Sell St-Maximin to Saudi, then loan him back to Newcastle. What a loophole that would be. Newcastle going to approach Axel Disasi this week as pre-Romano. All right. What else we're seeing? People calling for Renan Lodi again. Top four finish for those. This is how far behind I am in the chat. There's that many to catch up with. We were talking about this about 10 minutes ago. If we finish seventh, Eddie will be sacked. What a bold statement that is from Joel Linton. I don't think he would, like. He's got credit in the bank now. I mean, it would depend on what happened in the rest of the campaign, really. How did we get on in the Champions League? How did we get on in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup? But I couldn't see him getting sacked. Like, nah. We would have to have a disaster season next year for Eddie Howe to get sacked. He's got credit in the bank now. He's really fast-tracked this programming now this season. They didn't expect anywhere near top 4. So he's not going to get sacked. No way. Top 8, I reckon, yeah. What else was in top 4 with the cup final? That'll be lovely. Just same as this year. Same as this year. We'll do well in Champions League. Look what we did against Barcelona. To be fair, I'd love to go back to Barcelona now. Win the Premier League this year. Says Paul. Good optimism. I like it. Get another bet on that one. Any Livramento news, says Chris. So this one's still really stolen at the minute. I think Newcastle are showing Southampton that we're not desperate for him. We're not just going to jump and pay the silly money that they want, asking for 40 million and that. We're pretty much saying he has 20 million in wee Ryan Fraser. He has 20 million in a midget. Take it or leave it. Midget, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Up to you. We're not going to be forced into spending silly money. So we're waiting for Southampton to realise that. And as the season draws closer, Southampton are going to have to sell their players. Still holding on to James Ward-Prowse and that. I thought he would have went, but they're asking for 50 million for Ward-Prowse. No one's going to pay it. Like, you're going to have to take less than that, and you're going to have to accept it and build. The best thing they can do is sell Ward-Prowse, sell Livramento, make money from them, invest it back in the team, sign several players for that, and bring them up from the Championship, like Leicester are doing. Leicester are selling Maddison and Barnes, 80 million, and they can bring in Connor Cody for 10, 5-6 more players, give themselves a chance of coming up. People's shouts for Champions League, Rome, Dortmund and Madrid, lovely. Mr. Mente scored for Feyenoord. Yeah, he did. Yankuba Minef scored for Feyenoord yesterday. He's going to be a player, isn't he? He's going to be some striker. Massive link to Kylian Asadi. Class challenge, make it a good work. Cheers, Darren. 16-1 for the title, says Paul. It should be way more than that. 16-1, that's a joke. What about using Maxi Ward's getting Diaby? I'll take that. What else was saying? Dubravka could end up in a Championship side. Harsh but true. Harsh but true. Chiesa linked to Liverpool. Trying to work through your chats was that bloody many of them. Shout out everyone that's tuned in. What we're saying here. Finally getting down the bottom of them. Would Dubravka possibly be part of the Barnes deal? He should have went to Leicester last year. You know what I mean? I don't know why Leicester didn't sign Dubravka. I mean, that was one of their main faults last year, was they didn't replace Schmeichel, and they had an absolute nightmare of the goal scoring, goal conceding record. They needed to get someone in, and Dubravka would have been a great cheap option for them. And I think it would be now. That's a good shout by Drew, to be fair. Use Dubravka as part of the Barnes deal. Why not? That could be a shout. That could be a shout. Solves one of Leicester's problems, gives us a player, and they still get money. Carrie says not good enough to be a number 2. I don't know. I think Carrie says Harry, really. I think he did Harry when he came in the cup. But Pope's Harry, man, never gets injured. Just gets sent off. But he never gets injured. 20. That's the offer to Southampton for Livramento. What else we're doing? So this has been a big talking point, hasn't it? I mean, when Tonali first signed, the rumour was, he'd be able to sit there, and that's going to allow Bruno Guimaraes to get further forward and express himself and play in his preferred position. But really, the club have came out, you got the Athletic in that report and saying that Tonali is really going to be used more of an 8 than a 6. He's going to be playing alongside Bruno, not behind him, or Bruno will still be playing a bit deeper, which is a shame because That's why ideally you would like to see like a Kefran Turan brought in, wouldn't you? So someone who can just sit there, and then you'd have maybe Bruno and Tonali in front of him. Can you put Joelinton on the left? Now we're signing Barnes. That mixes things up. Could we play a 4-2-3-1? Could Eddie Howe change formation? Definitely, especially in Europe. We could mix things up. You know, you could be playing a 4-2-3-1 next year. You could have Tonali and Bruno as the two. You could have a three of, you know, loads of options in that three, really, isn't there? Loads of options between Gordon, Almiron, Barnes when he comes in. You know, loads of players could play in that number 10. A whole host of things you could do with it. Willock could play further forward. Anything you could do with it, really. I think Tonali will be utilised a lot because you look at him for Italy, you look at him for AC Milan, he's not sitting deep anymore. He's sitting on that left side of midfield. He's spraying balls around. He's getting stuck in. So he's basically going to do what Sean Longstaff did last season. He's going to play the exact same role as Sean Longstaff. Tonali is just going to swap with Longstaff. That's all that's going to happen so far. So if the season started tomorrow, Aston Villa at home, our midfield would be Joelinton, Bruno, and Tonali. Or, since we haven't got Barnes yet, maybe Joelinton on the left, Willock, Bruno, Tonali. You know, so Tonali's going to be playing centre mid. He's not going to be sitting in front of the defenders that people thought at the start. You know, we've had word from the club that Tonali will be playing as an 8, not a 6. So there you go. He will be playing further forward. He's not going to sit right back. What else we're saying? Lavia as well, obviously linked as well. Yeah, he's just silly money, though. He's linked with Liverpool. I think Liverpool really want him, and they've got the money for it as well. He was, to be fair, and this is what I like, Ian, right? I like the way you've put in there because he's got a sexy name. Gabri Veja from Spain. Sounds lovely. Harvey Barnes from England doesn't. Harvey Barnes sounds like a postman. Gabri Veja sounds like he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. But realistically, last night, he was absolutely crap. He came off the bench. He didn't even start. He came off the bench and he just did nothing. So he was very poor, but you know, he has looked good for Sociedad. And I'm sure he will come good. But this is the thing, when players are linked and they've got these fancy foreign names, everyone's like, whoa, exciting times. But if you sign Premier League proven players who have got really average, boring British names, then no one gets excited. It's weird for me. What we're saying. Foxes would have stayed up with Dubravka. No. Have Leicester paid 30 mil for Perez yet? Nah, he's went on a free. He's now on a free. He's left Leicester, Jose Perez. He's at Real Betis again, I think. He played from last year, didn't he? Played against Man U in the Europa League. Jose Perez, and now he is at Real Betis. He's went back to Spain, Jose Perez. It's shot us right the way back up there. Where's Qual going this season, do we know? Don't know which club yet, but he definitely will be going on loan. Anderson should be part of the Barnes or Livramento deal. Nah, no way. We're keeping Elliot Anderson, man. Good option off the bench. Going to need him for all the cup competitions. Anderson won't be going anywhere. Lewis Miley, any news on him going to a championship club? Now, that's more like it. That's the player you want to send out on loan. Looks good against Chelsea. Obviously, so unlucky to hit the crossbar instead of scoring on the last day. That would be a fairy tale story for him. Lewis Miley, very, very highly rated at the club. You know, people at the training ground at the club really, really like him. Think he's got a big, bright future. So he does need a loan spell. I think someone's just mentioned Borough there. Really good. Michael Carrick in charge of him. Yeah, why not? That would be class. Keep nice and close. So a nice loan move for Lewis Miley next year will be good, you know, because he is young. He needs to build his frame up, build his experience up as well. He needs to get used to playing in competitive games. He needs to get used to the rough and tumble of it. What we're seeing here. Yeah, the links to Ignacio as well, the centre-back. I'll be buzzing with that. But is he going to cost too much money? We'll see. I'm interested to see if anyone knows, actually, since these rumours about Disasi's been literally in the past half an hour since we started the show, how much Monaco are after for the centre-back. Because Ignacio will be class, but he's going to be big money. But maybe. Shout out Roadblock for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Very optimistic as well as Roadblock. top 4 again, and 3 cup finals defo on. How are the lads? Love it. Love the optimism, mate. I hope you're right on that one, like. 3 cup finals be alright. Gives you a better chance of at least winning one, surely. Win 3. Surely we can celebrate at Wembley one day. Because even the Champions League final is at Wembley next season. So we don't have to travel far. Imagine Trafalgar Square next June for the Champions League final, eh? Scenes. PSG. Veha's joining PSG. What? I suppose it's the Farmers League in it, so it's an easy one for him. What else was saying? Well, this is the thing, innit? Jurgen Klopp, man, what a load of bollocks he speaks these days. Turkey teeth is on an absolute whinge every single week. Like, now that thing about, well, good luck Newcastle. You know what I mean? No ceiling for Newcastle now, is there? Liverpool. Newcastle can just do what they want. We can't do anything. Can't afford a fucking cup of coffee, us. Yeah, getting declines at Costa Coffee. Yet they're going out and spending loads of money every single time. You know what? January bought Gakpo. Last season bought Nunez. This season, McCarthy. You know what I mean? McAllister, not McCarthy. McAllister from Brighton, and of course Szoboszlai, who was linked with Newcastle. Just a cheeky 70 million, just over 100 million spent on the midfield this season alone so far. When the window's only been open a few weeks, so I think Liverpool's doing all right, aren't they? Yeah, Klopp found some money, did you? Get a nice little rebate off the tax man, did you? What's going on? Full of shite, a lot of them. Full of absolute pony. What we're looking at. Since we've got the Leicester fan channel in the house, let us know, mate, what we can expect from Harvey Barnes week in, week out. We all know his goals, assist records there, but what can we expect? Will he fit in to Eddie Howe's system? If you don't know what it is, you know, the hard working system, intensity, tracking back, working for each other. Is he that kind of player? Will he work, graft, come back defensively? And what else can he offer from the wing? Let we know. If Chelsea signs Caicedo, I think Chelsea are going to be really good next year. I think no European football, 1 game a week. Yeah, the signings they've already made. Their midfield consists of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. They are taking the piss. Absolutely taking the piss. And then if they get a good forward who can score goals, because that's what they're really lacking, yeah, they're going to be a threat next year, Chelsea. I think, we're going to see young players kick on. I think Mudryk under Pochettino will become a good player. So I think Chelsea are going to be really good next season. And Pochettino back in the Prem. Let's see what we say. Cheers for this one. Donoso79, just to add to the Just for Men fun. I like it, mate. I like it. Cheers. Wants to bring back the die. Well, I'm not going to use it on that, but thanks anyways, mate. Appreciate that. Add to the Champions League fund. That's what we'll be adding to, because we want to go to every single Champions League away game next season. So we'll be adding to that Champions League fund. What else we got? I've actually caught up with the comments, as it took me 50 minutes, nearly 1 hour, but I might have actually caught up with the comments. Yes, I have. I'm now at the bottom of the comments. Lovely stuff. Here we go. Keep them coming in then. Keep them coming in. Keep your questions coming in. Keep the chat coming in. We've still got loads to talk about, to be fair. Thanks for that one too, man. Appreciate it. Antia with an update on Harvey Barnes and what we can expect week in, week out. Does not work that hard defensively. So that's good. I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't work defensively, because obviously that's very important. But then again, a lot of our players didn't until Eddie Howe took them under his wing. So I think with the coaching of Tyndall, Graham Jones, Gateshead Graham, and Eddie Howe, he'll sharp be working harder defensively. But that's the main thing. Clinical on the edge of the box, because a lot of our wingers aren't. Are they, really? Let's be honest. And Harvey Barnes is, I like that. We've seen a lot of his goals come from a 1-2 situation, haven't they? Like a give and go and then slotting it in the bottom corner. So for me, I would really look at that being the main advantage of signing Harvey Barnes. Numbers on the board, goal contributions. What else we're seeing about Disasi then? Obviously, he's the one that's been linked in the past hour or so. Looking like a unit, the French centre-back from Monaco. Cheers from America, says Nick. I think Leon should go for ESM. since they were snubbed by Pulisic. Well, if Maxi does well in the French league, you give yourself his best chance of getting a call up to the national team. Obviously, he's got a hell of competition, but it's obviously his dream to not only win the Ballon d'Or, as Alan St. Maximin said before, he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. Right. But he wants to obviously play for France, and if he's impressing week in, week out over there, under their manager, gives himself a chance. So Disasi is massive. I tell you what, there's that many people talking about Disasi, who's obviously, like I said, been linked in the past hour or so. Not coming through here, actually. You know, let's see just how massive he is. There's that many people are talking about Disasi, the centre-back from Monaco, Axel Disasi, probably pronouncing it wrong. Never heard of him until an hour ago. 25 years old. Let's have a look. 25 years old. Plays for France as well. Does he? How many caps has he got for France? 4. 4 for France. I was going to say, he must just be breaking through. Is he? 7 goals in 99 games for Monaco. Not that bad for a centre-back. Where's the number 6? 25 years old. 6'3". 6'3" Disasi. Have a bit of that. And the link there could be true because you know how much Newcastle United value being a team of giants. You know what I mean? We are massive in the majority. When you look at Botman, Bain, Joe Linton, Isak's even tall. You know, Wilson even gets up for headers, even though he's not that tall. You know, we are a threat from corners, from set pieces. Tonali's quite tall as well. Tall Arnie. So Disasi would be decent there, 6'3". He was a youth academy product of Paris FC. Monaco paid 13 million euros for him in August 2020, and he signed a 5-year deal with the club. And he made his France debut as well. He was called up to the 2022 World Cup squad, replacing Kimpembe, who got injured. He made his debut in the group stage when they lost to Tunisia. And he's played in a couple more games for France as well. So, Disasi linked today to Newcastle. I'm not sure what the transfer fee would be. Let's see if there's any more rumours on what Disasi's transfer fee would be. Because Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Newcastle United and Manchester United are eyeing up a move for Disasi. So, they're exploring the deal for Disasi. Newcastle approached the player side this week, and they are expected to make contact with Monaco. Transfer market value the player at 30 million euros. Would be way more than that. I mean, if they paid, what did I just say they paid from there before? Was it 15, 18? 30 million euros. I mean, even get him at 30 million. A French international, you're laughing there, but I reckon they'd want close to maybe 30 million pounds, but 30 million euros. Even that would be a bargain this day and age. 30 million for 20. I suppose he's 25. He's not exactly 22, 23 like your Isaks and your Tonali's. But 30 million euros for Disasi, one of the best ball-playing centre-backs in Europe. It sounds pretty good to me. Get him in. Get him in now. I'd have Disasi. Sounds good to me. Big fan of him now. Disasi spreads the ball. Well, switches play like Shaw. Good on the ball. Very Shaw-like. Disasi, says Stu. I like it. Disasi. What was I saying? Disasi and Botman, if that happens, we might not concede any goals next season. Well, we did have the joint best defence in the league last season, didn't we? And improving that, we'll go down an absolute treat. Right then, what else we got? Let's get back down to the bar. Stats are better than Varane for Disasi. Sounds good to me. Keep your comments coming in. As we approach 1 hour during this show, we'll keep it going for a little bit longer. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to people who are tagging us in that the Fabrizio Romano tweet there to let we know. So, what we're saying then, we've talked about Harvey Barnes, we've had the Leicester fan channel there and talking about him as well. We've talked about Disasi. We'll get more on him as it comes in. The next thing we want to talk about is Federico Chiesa. Now, on Friday, it was reported that his agents are in England. They have been in England this weekend. Majority of outlets were saying that it was to speak to Newcastle United representatives. Some were saying that it was to speak to Chelsea because the agents were in London dealing with another player of theirs as well. But they're trying to do two birds with one stone and get Chiesa sold, because Chiesa wants to move. He's fallen out with the Juventus manager. Juventus are happy to let him go for 35 million euros, which is a steal, to be honest with you. You know, at the international, scored against England, of course, at the Euros. He's a real talent. I mean, trickery, hard working, scores goals, assists. He's class on that right hand. He can play across the front three. That's what we will really like about him, that versatility to play in every position in that forward line. Chiesa would offer a lot. The question marks around him and why some clubs aren't willing to bring him in is because obviously he had a huge layoff last year. He had nearly a year out the game with that horrible injury, the ACL injury that wiped him out for, I think it was 11 months. So he didn't play much football at all. But what he is able to do is, even though he's left-footed, you know, he cuts in a lot on the right. So he plays on the right, cuts in with his left foot, plays on the left. He's played down the middle as well. He's even played as a number 9. So he's good at that. And to be fair, when he's come back from his injury, he played for Italy in the Nations League, this summer, and he looked sharp. He scored as well against the Netherlands. So he looked good. He looked like he recovered from that injury. Obviously, the question is, can he do that long term? Can he do that week in, week out? But I really like Chiesa. I think if we could get him in, he would be a class signing. And for me, an absolute bargain at 35 mil, an absolute bargain. So Chiesa's agents are in England, putting him out there, you know, getting the feeler, trying to get some attention his way, trying to get a deal struck for the Italian winger who fancies a move to England. You know, he wants it. He wants a new start, a fresh challenge. He's probably sick of lying in bed for the past 11 months, recovering from injury, and then having a row with the Juventus coach. So he wants a move. Ticks the box that Newcastle want. The Barnes thing makes me think we're probably not going to move for him. However, the Barnes deal will be free. If we sell St. Maximin, we'll get 35, 40 mil, which will pay for Barnes. Then he's pretty much free, isn't he? He's been replaced. So then we've still got 30 million we can go and spend on Chiesa. So why not? Go for it. Absolutely go for it. And then our front line is heavy, meaty. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see about Chiesa, but I see a lot of people in the chat there happy about that. Chiesa will be a fantastic signing. 35 mil for Chiesa. Yes, please. Chiesa's a baller. Get him in. So, yeah, Chiesa, very much linked to Newcastle. And that was a move. You could see movement on that. I mean, this weekend, you could see movement on it wherever he's going, because if his agents have been here and they're talking to clubs, then we'll see. But that front three of like a Chiesa, Barnes and Isak, Wilson and Chiesa, mix them up whatever way you like, is dangerous and would threaten that. I mean, imagine that on your best day, if you've got Barnes, Isak, Chiesa, Tonali, Bruno and Joelinton, or Willock, or if you chuck in a different midfielder, if you sign a Thuram or Lavia or whatever, it's mad. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously our defence, as we know as it is, class. Do you know what I mean? So what a move that would be. And for that money, I don't think you can snub at that. So we'll see. We'll see about Chiesa, but definitely interest there. And they want to get a move. They want their client moved. Get the likes in, boys and girls. Jackie knows the crack. Get the likes in. Get the thumbs up if you haven't already. Nearly 900 people tuned in, because we are 1 hour deep pretty much into the show. We'll keep it going for a little bit longer. We'll keep it going. And keep your chats coming in there as well. Shout out everyone at Welling McDonald's. Hope he's having a happy Sunday at Graft. Enjoy yourselves. Cheers for tuning in, Robert. Probably on his lunch break at Mackey's, you know what I mean? Enjoying your free scan. Mostly Arsenal fans, though. So, don't know about that. I don't mind Arsenal, really. But we'll try and finish above them next year. So, let's have a look what else is on the list to talk about. For you of that are joining late, we have briefly touched on this, but we'll round it up with the Karius and Dummett news. They have signed a contract extension until 2024. So the club have announced it today. Eddie Howe got a nice picture with Dummett and Karius as they signed their new deals. 2024. So Karius looking likely to be Newcastle's second choice keeper next season. I've seen a few people in the chat area not happy about that, but I'm sure Dubravka will be sold. Darlow will be sold. So that leaves us with Gillespie, Karius, and Pope. And then Paul Dummett as well, just signing on for the crack. Said it at the start of the stream, just signing on, cheerleader sentence, local lad, living the dream. Homegrown, Paul Dummett. Mental. But he probably won't play. But, he's back up, he's squad. He's laughing, really, isn't he? Getting another deal, living the dream. So there's them two. What else we're saying before we round up the show, to be fair? Because we've been going an hour. I think that's a nice time because people will be tuning in and they can go back and have a look at us talking about Disasi and the latest on Harvey Barnes and everything else. And we'll catch up with your chat now before we sign off. So get your last few questions in before we end the stream. Chiesa, super talented, having black and white. Chiesa, injury risk, we should get him on year loan with option to buy first. That would be ideal, Simon. That would be very ideal. Cheers for that, Lee. Appreciate that. Thanks very much. Need to make a statement signing. Quality defender, maybe, says Ian. Do you think we will get a big training sponsor, says Daz? Good question. And a different question, I like it. And yes, I do. I'm surprised we haven't already got one. And to be fair, the training kits that you've seen so far released, they haven't got a sponsor on at all. Obviously, Fun 88. Some of them last year, actually, Fun 88 didn't have it on, but the main ones did. And there's no seller on the training. Not one bit of training ground wear has seller on it. It's just plain. So maybe are we going to announce that in a few months, January or next season? Next season, definitely, we will have a training sponsor. But for me, we must still be in talks and trying to get a big deal because you've seen Liverpool, for example, have the AXA training ground, the training ground sponsored, the building sponsored. It's all over the billboards on the training pitches. The training tops have got AXA in the middle instead of the standard chartered or whatever the other main shirt sponsor is now. You see this, Man United have got it, different training shirt sponsors. When Man U are warming up, the shirts and the jackets are sponsored by someone else compared to the kit. So this is a huge way around FFP. I'm surprised that Newcastle haven't already got it, to be fair. I'm surprised we haven't already got a new training sponsor, on the jackets, on the jumpers, and at the training ground. But I think that's definitely in the works. It's something the likes of Silverstone and that will be working on in the background. And a big money training sponsor will definitely be getting utilised at Newcastle. It'd be daft not to. It makes sense. And it's a way around things. So, yeah, I would expect that to be announced in the coming months. And at least this time next year, I reckon we'll see a whole host of training gear, training merch with a different sponsor on it. Garmy's asking about left backs. We talked about them earlier on the show, so I'll have a rewind once this finishes. But I said, Dan Ashworth really likes Cucurella from his time at Brighton, and Eddie Howe really likes Kieran Tierney. But question marks over both of those, the valuations and the fitness, really. So we'll see. And the Livramento deal that obviously stalled, who is a right back but can't play left back. So plenty of work to be done, but we will be bringing in a full back this summer, no doubt about that. Karius and Gillespie, for fuck's sake, why we're keeping Deadwood around? We should sell them on. Well, the thing is, you're not going to make a penny, are you? Karius would be a free agent if he hadn't signed that new contract. So would have done it, to be fair. His contract ended. But even if they were on 5-year deals, who the hell is going to spend more than $1 million or $2 million on Karius and do it? So there's no point. But I hear what you're saying, about the Deadwood thing. But for me, to keep a situation where we're going to make money off Dubravka and Darlow, and then homegrown Dummett for the Champions League quarter and Premier League and all that, UEFA and everything as well. So that's why Dummett's sticking around. If you go for the dressing room as well, man, do you know what I mean? You can show Tonali on the key side. You can take him to Sambucas. Dummett will go to Sambucas and that with Tonali. Have a nice day out. You know what I mean? Show him the ropes. So the thing is, we're keeping... The only thing I like about keeping the likes of Dummett around, even though you've got Sean Longstaff and that there who could do it, to be fair, is just Dummett and Gillespie are just there for Geordie vibes, culture. Show them what it means to wear the black and white shirt. Show them what it means for the area, the fans, the city. And keep that in the dressing room, I think, is important. That's the positive I take from it. Craig, love the channel, Matty. Your videos are mint. Thanks very much, mate. Cheers for that. What else we're saying? Let's have a scroll down before we round up this Sunday's live show. Chiesa, if anything, under 50 million is a steal. I mean, I can't believe Anthony went to Man. 85 million for Anthony is nuts, like, in it. He is crap. He's not crap, but he's not 85 million. He's not that good, really. I mean, Beyblade just doing spins all the time, spinning around the place. Anthony, 85 million. Crazy. I'll tell you what, the 40 million for Anthony Gordon now is looking like a steal. Do you know what I mean? On the back of this, how much would Anthony Gordon be worth this summer now after how much would Everton want if he had just won Player of the Tournament? They'd be wanting a fortune for him. So, bargain that. Anthony Gordon is going to prove 40 million's worth next season, I'm telling you. What's the latest on Tino Livramento? The valuation is way off. Newcastle happy to offer 20 million. Southampton trying to get 40 million. Not going to happen. Not going to happen in terms of us going to 40 million. The transfer can happen if Southampton want to sort themselves out and accept 20, 25 million. But the valuations are far off at the minute. See if they can get resolved. The issue with the Livramento deal is that Chelsea get a huge percentage of the sell-on. And Chelsea can even buy him back. They've got a 25 million buyback clause. But apparently Livramento doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. Stinks. Doesn't like Stamford Bridge. Said it was a shithole. Now he wants to get first-team football, which again may be a stumbling block in Newcastle. He may be happy to learn off trips and that, but there was a rumour that he also wanted first-team football guaranteed, which he's obviously not going to get guaranteed at Newcastle. So that could be a sticking point, and then he doesn't want to go back to Chelsea for that reason because he's not going to start, is he? He's not going to start there, so we'll wait and see. But there could be room on Livramento if valuation can be met. But I think that one a bit far off at the minute, but could change as the window goes on. Like I see with Southampton needing to raise funds to sign players to try and get back to the Premier League. Ian with a good shout there. Noon training ground. Absolutely. Why not? Which sleeve is it on? There it is. The old shirt sleeve sponsor Noon. Obviously they signed up for another year. It's 7 million a year, 8 million a year. So you could see something completely different coming though. Do you know what I mean? Saudia training ground. Saudia Benton training ground. What a nice ring to it that's got. Have a good week, Matty. Come on, tune. Thanks, mate. Hope everyone else has a good week as well. I'm actually away for a few days this week. Nice little week trip to Scotland for the old golf. So I'm going to enjoy that one. I'll try and get some signal in the middle of nowhere in Scotland to keep us updated with the videos if there's any transfer news. So keep an eye on that. We'll try and keep the videos coming for you. I've just actually recorded one before, so there will still be a video dropping on Monday or Tuesday regardless. But I'm sure there'll be another one. What else was saying before we get off? Briefly touched on this earlier, and I think it's interesting to say again because we've been so accustomed to Eddie Howe's 4-3-3, just didn't change it no matter what last year. He was so certain on it, didn't want to change it, didn't want to risk it, he just knew that everyone was settled, didn't he? And we had a good thing going. But especially in Europe, coming up against teams that are going to have a completely different style of play to Premier League opposition, I think we've got to change formation at times. I really do. I think if you're going to PSG, you're going to have to maybe switch things up. If you're going to a tough team in Germany or something, you're going to Bayern Munich, you may have to switch things up. I think 4-2-3-1 could really be used well for Newcastle next year, especially with maybe like Bruno and Tonali playing as that too. But we'll see. Or you could have Longstaff sitting deep in a two there or whatever. But yeah, I think we will change form. I don't think Barnes makes a really change formation because he's just going to slot right in on the left wing. But Tonali, mate, if you want to do something with him and Bruno, and you've got Longstaff and Willett sitting there wanting game time and that might have to make you change things up. So yeah, I think we are going to be a bit more diverse next year in our formation. We're going to have to mix things up a bit more. The TMC training stadium. I like it, Ian. Wish we could afford it. I would love to sponsor. Imagine that TMC. There it is. TMC logo in and around the training ground. Imagine that on the top, to be fair, instead of Salah, even though it does look good on this shit, I think, Imagine that. TMC on the training ground. That on the training kit. Look lovely, that. The Bongiorno Training Academy. I like it. Bongiorno Benton. The Benton Bongiorno base. Bit of a mouthful, but we're having it. Richie Lascelles, dumb it, let them go. Save on wages is obviously, that's a good point. I mean, Richie's just saying a new deal, aren't he? Richie's saying a new deal, so he's gone anywhere. I thought Richie would have left us somehow, I'll be honest. You know, I he was itching to get back down south, so I'm surprised he's not there. Lascelles, I think we will sell Jamal Lascelles if a good offer comes in, a sensible offer. You know, he's linked to return to Nottingham Forest, where obviously he started off. Could we get 8 million, 10 million for Lascelles at least, and then sell him on? Yeah, why not? But like Stu said as well, they're not on big wages, not at all. They're on pennies, especially compared to other Premier League teams. You know what I mean? But both Jamals to leave. Says Andy, yeah, I could see that. Definitely Lascelles and Lewis. Signed Diaby, says yes. Give Gordon number 11 and Toyin number 8. I think that'll happen. I think Tonali will get the number 8. He's got the blood number 8 tattooed on his wrist, on his knuckles, and that, for God's sake, you know what I mean? He loves it. He's obviously number 8 for Italy, number 8 for AC Milan, and it just makes sense because he's going to play in the number 8 position. So give him it. Gordon's going to be playing as the bloody number 9 or number 10 or on the wing next year. So give Tonali the 8. Let Gordon have the number 11. Even though Richie's probably thinking that shirt's going to get retired for him, the amount of time he's hung onto it. Bloody hell. Give Richie 41 or something. It's not going to matter. He's not going to play, is he? So, yeah. I'm agreeing with you there, Paul. Definitely. Tonali's got to have the number 8. He's playing as a number 8. He loves the number 8. Let him have the number 8. We need to sign Alphonso Davies. What a signing that would be. Big bucks, though. I would love Davies. Sign him on FIFA all the time because he's just electric and he's so quick. Imagine how fast we would be down that left-hand side if you had Gordon and Davies there. Fucking hell. But, yeah. Dybala has a 10 million... Does he? 10 million release scores. I mean, I'd be all over that. I think Man United should be all over that to need a striker, to be fair. I'm not sure about that 10 million release clause, but if that's true, fuck me, cheaper than Chris Wood. Get him in. Get him in. Cheaper than Chris Wood. Bella Kotchup from Southampton. Yeah, decent. Ramago training facility. Have the club shop released the print yet? Well, the Champions League badge I have. I've got that on the home one. Didn't get it on this one because there was a massive wait again. So I couldn't be asked for that. But I'll be getting on at some point probably. The Champions League print still needs approved from UEFA. So the club are still waiting for that Champions League print to be approved by UEFA. Obviously, every club, which I really like, to be fair, has their own unique font for the players' names and numbers on the back at the top. So wait and see what that's going to be. I would love to see a throwback to the 90s although it was under Adidas, you know, that retro look. You could just copy it and just not have the 3 stripes in the corner. Simple. You know, that retro vibe for the print would be class for me. But I like it either way. Well, because the thing is, what might be holding this up is the colour. You know, we obviously got red on our black and white shirts. Normally in the Champions League, it has to be white, doesn't it? Because remember back in the early 2000s, the last time we were in the Champions League, we used to have a square on the back of the top. And then the number in that square. So you'd have a black square and then the white number in it. So that could be a reason why it's getting held up. But I'm looking forward to seeing when it's revealed anyways. It'll probably be a while. Because there's no rush, really, I guess. It's still got a couple of months till the Champions League kicks off, really. Us anyway, in the group stages. Yes, I am going to Rangers, mate. There'll be loads of videos coming your way from Rangers. Absolutely buzzing for it. That's going to be a naughty old trip. 8,000 Geordies in Glasgow. It's going to be buzzing. So I can't wait for that. So, yeah, we'll be in Rangers. And we'll also be all the way at Gateshead next Saturday, 15th of July, the 12:30 kick-off next Saturday. Me and Keg will be there for that one. So I'm absolutely buzzing for that one as well, to be fair. And it's, it's coming around quick. Pre-season starting next weekend. That's mental. Coming in quick. Cheers for that one. What else we're seeing? Let's just round the show off now to get your last few chats in before we finish things off. I bet he does, Stu. I bet he does. I mean, that's what I mean. This bloke is just completely living the life of luxury. Yeah, like, you know, I said at the start of the stream, you know, he's getting free flights all over Europe next year. You know, you'll be getting loads of class sponsors, free boots, free free clothes, free tracksuits, the lot, you know. Gets to hang around with Bruno Guimaraes every day, Joe Linton, Brazilian, yeah, unreal. And then he is free strand at the training ground. He's absolutely loving it. He's loving life. Dumb it. What a life he is living. Living everyone's dream. King is still part of the channel when he can make it. You know, he's a family man now. He's busy changing nappies and that most of the time. But when he's not, he jumps on the channel. So we'll see him again. You'll see him next Saturday, to be fair, for the Gator game. But most time, he's busy. But I tell you what, there we go. Still 700 people tuned in after an hour and 16 minutes. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched this live transfer talk every Sunday, live at 5. Never gets boring, that, does it? We do this show, bringing you the latest transfer rumours and mainly having crack with you lot in the comments, having a bit of interaction with the subscribers, which is much appreciated. So thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been good spending an hour plus of my Sunday afternoon with you lot. So cheers for all the interaction and the comments and the conversations. And as you can see, going on the bottom of your screen there, please do follow us on social media if you don't already. Main one we're active on is Instagram there at the Magpie channel. That's where we really produce the most content. And yeah, as you can see, next on the bottom of your screen is the headlines from this show. The transfer rumours. Harvey Barnes being linked to get a deal done in the next 7 days, according to Fabrizio Romano. The same Romano has also said that we are eyeing up a move for French centre-back Disasi from Monaco, the 25-year-old. Federico Chiesa's agents have been in England this weekend trying to push a deal through for the Italian winger. And Loris Karius and Paul Dummett have signed contract extensions until 2024. There we go. Good stuff. Just hung on long enough for a nice super chat. Thank you very much for that one, mate. Really appreciate it. Makes a big difference, that, because, you know, it helps the channel. It helps put things back into it. You know, bring you the content. There we go. You've just paid and contributed to some class videos that are coming your way next season. You know, the Champions League trips, even Rangers in a couple of weeks, you know. They aren't cheap, these trips, by the time you get the trains, the hotels, the tickets, the beer money. You know, it's not cheap. So thanks very much for that help. Really appreciate it. Cheers again, everyone. I can see you all in the chat there. Nice one. Smashing as usual. Cheers, Matty. Au revoir, Stu. I'll see you all later. Cheers, Matty. Excellent. Keep up the good work. As always, make sure you stay tuned to the Magpie Channel TV. Daily videos is what we're bringing you this summer. I am on a golf trip, as I've said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, but there will be at least one video dropping in that time. There'll be 2, to be fair. I'll do a video from the course if I can get some good signal, but stay tuned. Daily uploads. This is the place to be for all your Newcastle United news. Thanks so much, everyone, again, for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people. I hope you have a great week next week. And most importantly, enjoy yourself.